Hey everyone, I'm Angela Fazio.
And I'm Kristen Cantrell, and this is Moms in Real Estate. Girl, educate yourself.
We're really excited about beautiful Lacey Lehman being our guest today. She's got 6 kids between her and her husband. 4 are still at home, and she runs a team of 8 in real estate, and they closed 149 transactions last year.
And she's going to actually share with us how she runs a successful team as well as a successful family. So let's get started.
I'm so excited, Lacey.
Thank you so much for having me. Hi, everybody. As Angela mentioned, I'm Lacey Lehman. I've been in the business for almost 16 years now. I have 6 kids at home. So as Angela was mentioning, or I'm sorry, I have 6 kids total, 4 that are still at home. We've got a growing team. We just added 2 new members to our team. So we currently have 8. And yeah, life has definitely been kind of crazy right now. As I'm sure everybody knows, we've had the whole school thing, our kids in school, are we out of school, are we back, what are we doing here? So trying to run the household with the kids and then also expanding our team. So we are a little bit more of a smaller team, but growing. So I help do a lot of the training that takes place. So that has been kind of fun too, just getting everything up and running, but trying to manage between the house and the kids and then manage the growing team and everything that's taken place. Life is definitely not busy right now or not boring.
Let's not forget, 6 kids alone is hard. Then you have 8 team members and then your husband just had back surgery. So you have a lot of moving parts.
Yes, there's a lot going on in my world right now for sure.
And are you still in production?
I am. Yes.
So now I knew that. I was just going to make you say it. So you're in production. You've got a large family. You're educating and helping guide your team. I know our audience is going to want to know. Let's start with like your team and how you manage your time and how you keep them growing while still being in production. Let's start with that part.
Okay, so I live and die by my calendar. Anybody who knows me will always hear me say, if it's not on my calendar, it just isn't happening. With everything that's going on, I have to time block. I have to be very strategic on how I set up my days. So I use my calendar for everything, for business, for personal. My team, they don't need to know about my kids' activities and when I need to schedule time to go to the grocery store, because yes, I have to do that as well. But they can see my business calendar. So they have access to everything. Everybody in my team always knows that whenever appointment taking, especially our newer agents, they are more than welcome to come shadow me all the time. But again, if it's not on the calendar, it just doesn't happen. So time blocking is something that I feel I have gotten really good at because I need to. I have to be able to schedule those times for follow-ups for my clients and my personal business. Then I have to schedule the time where I'm training and working with some of our current team members, our new team members. And then also there's my kids. I have to be able to schedule some time for them, for anything that they need, their activities that they're in, schoolwork. And then there's the fun as well too. It can't always be about work. We've got to schedule some fun time. So that is also something that I add to the calendar as well, because again, as sad as it is, if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't happen. So.
That's the truth.
It's so true. And I feel like that's something that is really hard for anybody. Like I'm literally trying really hard this year to be like living by my calendar. But where does somebody even get started with that? Because I know that's kind of like, okay, I want to do that so that I spend my time in the best way possible. Where do you start?
So one of my things that I did, because I did not used to be so good at time blocking, and it still is something that's in a process. I wouldn't say I've perfected it. I've gotten much better, but I am really big on going out there and seeing what can I find in terms of webinars. There's so many great webinars out there. It doesn't matter if you're looking at things on Instagram, on Facebook. There's some different Facebook groups that I'm a member of that has all kinds of different webinar opportunities to learn. So that was one of my things that I did is I just went out there and I Googled how can I learn to time block or time blocking secrets and tips. And there's a lot of really good things that I learned just by doing that. I think it's doing more than anything, is just like with anything in this business. There's so much information that's out there, but if you're going to take the time to learn and watch the videos, you actually have to put it into play. Otherwise it's kind of for nothing.
Yeah, one of the things that Kristen and I are working on together is if we forget something, it's like a trigger. Oh, that means it requires a time block.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it's a repetitive something that we just go back and say, okay, well, now we need to say every single week at this time or every other week at this time, this has to happen or we're not going to be prepared. And so that's like another way, just make mistakes and compensate quickly.
Yes, and I even found that like Sunday, even though I don't want to do this on Sunday afternoons, I will sit down for an hour and I will plan my week out, and I'll put all my workouts in. I'll put all the important things in the calendar, and I've been trying to be really good about like adding date nights into the calendar and getting a babysitter, because otherwise the whole week flies by and you forget.
Yep.
You know?
Yep, absolutely. I agree.
So do you start and kind of plan? Do you look at it the night before? Do you look at it a week ahead of time? Like, what do you do?
So my schedule changes all the time, as pretty much most of us in real estate. So I always look at it the night before. So usually about an hour or so before I'm getting ready to go to bed. That's the time where I pull up my calendar and I look and see, okay, what do I have going on first thing in the morning? Do I have some time for phone calls before I go to my appointment or whatever I've got going on first thing in the morning? What do I do as soon as I drop the kids off? Okay, here's what's happening. So even in light of everything that's happened with COVID, I still go into my office every single day. I'm just the type, I've got, as I mentioned earlier, I have 4 kids that are at home. I have 3 dogs as well. So what?
Didn't you just get a puppy?
We've had him for about a year now. So yeah,
gosh, yes, I remember. It's a little pit bull.
Yeah, it's a big 85-pound puppy now. So
well, I remember the baby picture.
Yes. He grew fast, that's for sure. But I'm just the type, I don't ever work as well when I'm at home. I've got, the dogs will start wrestling and playing, and Amazon shows up and they bark, and I just can't get my stuff done at home that I need to. I'm just never as effective. So for me, I do have an office at my office that's only about 10 minutes from my house. So I go into the office every single day. I get so much more done there. So, but again, that's without fail, if something is not on my calendar first thing in the morning, I take that first hour of my day, typically as soon as I drop the kids off, head straight into the office. And then I'm planning everything else that I need to do. It's very rare that there's not something on the calendar, but if there is any gaps or anything like that, that's where I'm trying to be strategic as far as filling up that time, so I don't ever have any downtime.
So I think that we need to park on the calendar thing for a minute. Did you ever, what kind of mistakes have you learned from? Like, you know what I'm learning right now? I would never put any buffer time in between appointments, and it messes me up.
Yeah.
So what kind of tips do you have?
Yes, I stress out. I'm the type where I would rather be 30 minutes early to an appointment than 5 minutes late. Okay. And that does, you have to be so careful too, because if you're not setting up everything and giving yourself the travel time, I have messed up like that really bad too. And then I have to text my clients, I'm so sorry, I'm running 10, 15 minutes late. And that is so embarrassing to me. Because I feel like I failed and I didn't set up. And I know there's things that happen and things that come up that are beyond our control. But that's the biggest thing, is that you have to really take a step back and really plan everything out, including travel time, because I have definitely messed up on that myself.
And even just sticking to what you write down. I noticed that, I'll write down what I'm doing and then something comes up and I'm like, oh, I can do that. And I feel like that really messes me up.
I do that too. Guilty.
Yeah.
Getting a little better.
Yeah. No, I don't say no hardly ever. So I'm trying really hard. Like, no, I have this on my calendar, but if you want to do this, then we can do it here.
Yes. You know what I've had to do too? A lot of times, especially if it's things where I'm in front of my computer, so one of my big goals that I also want to work on right now is video. Video is huge, as everybody knows. I get so distracted. I'll get one of my team members that'll send me a message and they need something, or I will get a text from the kids and, hey mom, I forgot this, or whatever the case may be. So I literally have to shut down everything. I shut down my email, I shut down my text messages on my computer, and I have to, if I'm going to commit to something that's on my calendar, I truly have to shut down all distractions. Otherwise, nothing gets done and there's just interruptions everywhere.
So I hear about the importance of time blocking. We've talked a little bit about like buffering, giving you time in between appointments, and getting rid of distractions when you know you have to get a certain time block thing done that's, you're not sitting in front of a person to stop you from distractions. Do you have any other tips for that, for time management?
Yes. So one of the other things that is huge for us, that's another focus that I've been working on, is systems. So when we started growing our team, so my husband, Drew, and I, we started our team back in 2012. And our very first thing that we did was we added a transaction manager to our team. So he joined us in 2016. And then our first agent started joining us in 2018. So we were very big on, before we get to the point of growing our team, we have to put those systems in place, because I've heard recently too that if there's anything that you do 2 or more times, you need to have a system, or you need to have something in there, because otherwise, if you're repeating and doing the same emails over and over and whatnot, it's a waste of time and it's not effective. So that has been so huge just for my craziness in my life is, if I'm doing something more than once or more than twice, then create a system for it and do it. So a lot of it is automated. So you don't have to keep going back and doing those time wasting activities.
Yeah, I think that we need to encourage our audience that this is a work in progress. I've been in business for 20 years in one way or another in real estate, and I'm still refining systems and processes and things like that. So it's never ending, kind of like ringing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're going to shut off the ringer.
Well, I just wanted to say too, if anyone out there needs like an example of what a new agent's first, like what it should look like for you, I actually have a Excel document that we did time blocking for a brand new agent in real estate. So I'm happy to share that with anybody listening. So just send us a message and I'll get that to you. Lacey, tell us, is there any advice that you would give to anybody listening that is struggling with this above and beyond what you've already told us?
I'd say more than anything, it's just about being consistent. And for me, it's very tough because I have so many people that pull at me in so many different directions. I feel like I have to be there for everybody all the time, which that's a huge focus and a huge priority for me, not just for the business, but of course for my family as well too. So it leaves me still being in production. It's a challenge that I have right now because I feel like it doesn't always leave as much time for me and to do the things that I need to do. And I often get put on the back burner. And Kristen, you mentioned like scheduling gym workouts. And that's one thing that is really important to me. But lately I'm taking those off the calendar because I feel like
to go, someone's like, I need your help. You're like, oh, that's gym time. I'll help you.
Yeah, I can help you. The gym can wait. And in turn, then I always get upset because then I don't feel as good. And I look forward to those gym workouts are a de-stressor to me. And so I really look forward to them. So I would just say the big thing is make sure that you're just following that calendar and you're staying very consistent, and you're always going to get distractions that come up, but don't let those distractions get in the way and win out, because then otherwise, next thing you know, your calendar is going to be ruling your life versus the other way around. And you're going to get yourself in a downward spiral that's really hard, at least for me, it's really hard to get out of it.
Well, we're definitely going to have you back because you are a wealth of knowledge, and it's always a pleasure to do anything with you, Lacey. So thank you so much for your time today. And you guys, we do Moms in Real Estate podcasts every Thursdays. You can also find us on iTunes, YouTube, on the Moms in Real Estate Instagram or Facebook. So please connect with us and let us know if there's any moms out there or really great women in real estate that should be featured like Lacey.
And if you guys go way back 3 years ago, you can actually see Lacey on Moms in Real Estate, one of our first guests when we first started the podcast. So it's up on YouTube.
That's right. Well, thank you again, Lacey, and thank you guys for watching.
Thanks, guys.